Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another disaster of a show called Eastern Connections. I'm your host, Kyle. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay, well, at least one person can. There's one thing that's going right as of right now. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties on the interwebs. Uh, it's just been a mess, man. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I wonder if I belong on the interwebs. I'm just not savvy. I don't. Things happen at the worst times to me for whatever gosh awful reason. But anyway, how you doing tonight, Do?
I'm doing fine. I am doing fine. I've been busier than a one-armed paper hanger today trying to get a few things caught up.
Oh, one armed paper hanger. Okay, well, that's pretty
I've been
busy.
I've been building some sifter boxes for the our Mantel crash site dig we're going to do, and where we can sift through some of the dirt and see what we can find.
When are you going
And
up?
well, hopefully it's going to be sometime the week after Christmas. It was going to be the day after Thanksgiving, but things just didn't work out. So couldn't get everybody lined up at the right place at the right time. So
Okay, well, that's all right. I mean,
I got a matching shirt and a matching cup. Where'd he go?
in here. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Having
Just
more trouble.
yeah. Hold on one second. I'm gonna try. This is insane, man. This is fucking insane. I'm like ready to just lose it. Hold on.
All right,
I want to
it'll
try
be all
something.
right.
That's what they keep saying. I don't believe them anymore, though. How do I? How do I? Hmm, um, I'm just trying to see something available. Is there another? This cannot be what the internet is right now. This is going to be a disaster.
Oh no,
This is going to be a disaster.
master of disaster.
A new router, and all of a sudden the internet signal is went from strong to weak on the new router.
Hmm. It is not good.
Oh, dude, I've had enough. I've had enough. Like, I really have, man. I'm just, I'm ready. Just cash it all in. This is insanity. Well, fuck me. I guess if it goes out, I apologize. I mean, I don't know. Anybody want to trade lives? Does anyone out there want to trade? I'm. I know everyone's probably going, nope, not even a chance, there, fella.
Did you
Um,
did you say lives or wives? What'd you say?
lives,
Okay, okay.
no, I don't have a
I wanted to
wife.
get that clear.
I don't have a wife or wives. Anyway, let's try this thing. So, so yeah, so yesterday, me and Bry went up to October Mountain. Uh, if you guys know me, you know how much I wanted to go to October Mountain. How it's the from what I've gathered data wise, it is that um, the Berkshire County between like Mount Greylock, Adams, North Adams, Lee, and Savoy, and October Mountain potentially have the highest number of Class A sightings and encounters in New England, um, and by a lot from all accounts. So it's a place that like any big footer from this area definitely wants to go or has gone. And people outside of the New England area who know the topic, they want to go there. Um, there's sightings just as recently as 2 weeks ago. There were in the last 3 weeks. There's been 2 sightings, and then one gentleman who was fishing illegally who had rocks thrown at him. So for all those reasons, plus many more, we wanted to go up. And on a whim, we just said, like, just let's do it. Like, let's go. It's gonna be 60 degrees on Thursday. Let's just do it. So we went up yesterday. It's a very, very, very large area. The mountain itself is not super high. I think at its peak, it's like 1,980 feet or 50 feet, something like that. Um, the so it's not a super high mountain, but it covers a large area of ground, and the October Mountain State Forest covers more ground than just the mountain itself, and all of that forest connects to Mount Greylock. It connects to Adams, North Adams, Lee, Savoy, and the Bennington Triangle, which is in Vermont, which is where Mike Lucci's been investigating lately. It also connects up into the Green Mountains, which is an area that Alex has been looking into. So it's really crazy how all of that area connects and how prominent the sightings are and how far back they go. So we got there, and we drive around for a while on these old, these old trail roads. They're all dirt and kind of rocky and big bumps and holes and whatnot. And we're looking on the Garmin GPS, and we're trying to find a good place to go, and everything's pretty, it's pretty rugged and like out in the middle of nowhere. So it was kind of a crapshoot. Like, well, let's just drive a little further, and we'll just find a place. We drive a little further, we come out into this one area that's just wide open. It's like a little field in the middle of the woods and a sand pit. And so we're like, perfect. We'll park here and we'll get out. We park the truck, we get out, we're getting our gear ready. Chewy's running around having a good old time. And, we're just kind of shooting the breeze and talking as we're getting ready. And we literally throw the backpacks on and we're getting our cameras ready. And as we're getting our cameras ready, we hear 2 very clear, very loud knocks, like immediately. And we both kind of look at each other and laugh, like, you got to be kidding me. This just as we get out of the truck. And it all goes back to that whole thing where you like when you don't expect it is when it happens, right? I didn't expect to hop out of the truck and it happened right away, but these were very clear. They were loud, and it was certainly a tree knock. It was nothing else. 2 of them back to back. And of course we didn't have our cameras running. It's like they're just playing with you. It's almost like they know, and they're like, let's do it now. We know they don't got anything ready to film, so let's mess with them a little bit. So it's it was one of those things. So then we ended up trooping it, and we were out there for 4.5 hours. It's what's up, Long Island? How are you, buddy? It's tough, like, with the sun setting so early now. We left pretty early. We left here at 8 a.m. And because Brian drove from his house to mine, which is an hour east of me, and Mount October Mountain is northwest of him, so he would have had to come this way anyway. So he had to drive this way, which was an hour. Then we had to drive another 2 hours to the mountain. So we left here at 8 a.m., got there about 10:30. By the time we got into the forest and parked, it was 10:30. And then we stopped. We started walking back after we did that part of the Appalachian Trail on the bald top or whatever they call it, and headed back to the truck. And it was like 3 o'clock, and the sun was already setting. And let me tell you something. The difference in those woods at 3 o'clock from 8 a.m. or from 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. was so different. It got so dark in those woods just from the sun dipping a little bit in the sky. They're so thick. It's such an amazing area. There's plenty of water sources. There are the wildlife there is crazy. It's very diverse. The forest changes from one place to the next. Um, and so we had a very good time. There was a couple other things that we saw and happened that were interesting. Um, Even Brian, who's a big skeptic on the tree stuff, one thing that we noticed there over and over and over and over and over again, where all these tree breaks and they were all the same height, all the same size tree. I mean the exact same height, within an inch or two, every one of them. And the break, how it was broken, looked exactly the same, if that makes any sense. Like, so, oh, I love the cup. I love the cup, Dewey.
No, you like that?
I love the cup. I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan.
It matches my shirt.
Oh, I love it. I'm a huge Ghostbuster fan. So we kept seeing these breaks in these trees, and they were the same height. Not they were they were either at like around 4 feet, or they were at 8 feet. Every single one of them. And if they were at 4 feet, the whole area was at 4 feet. If they were 8 feet, the whole area of them was at 8 feet, right? And they were all broken the same direction, the same type of, like, not type of tree, but same size tree, and the breaks look the same. So like if you try to break a stick or a tree and you like slowly break it, you'll see it start to kind of separate the fibers and stuff or whatever. But if you go over and you just snap it real fast, it breaks like right off. Usually these look like something had gone over and just gone crack and just snapped it real quick. And they were this perfect upside down L. It's the only way I can explain it. And Brian is a big skeptic on that stuff. And even he said, dude, it's weird, man. It's very strange that there's so many of them and they're all the same. Those trails, the Appalachian trails that run through there, are some of the most narrow, rugged trails that are very hidden from everything else. They're just tucked away. They're like the perfect ambush trail. They're the perfect place for something to be able to watch the people walking the trails, and you'd never see whatever was watching you ever. Just the way it's all set up. There are these wonderful, beautiful streams that run through. I mean, like gorgeous, gorgeous streams that run through this place. It looked like a scene out of Harry and the Hendersons, man, in some of the areas there. And the thing about it is it's so big, it's so vast. You know, two people can only cover so much ground in a day. You would need days to cover, and even then you wouldn't cover the whole thing, but to cover a good amount of area. And I think what we're talking about now is getting the team together who was going to go up to New Hampshire before the rainfall kind of ruined that. It was like 7 of us. We're going to try to get all 7 of us in the spring to go up to October Mountain or maybe Mount Greylock, because they're only a couple miles away from each other. And that way we'll have a larger team. We could send guys out in pairs and then set them up in different locations. We'll all be connected by walkie. So if something starts to happen in one location, we'll know. And if things get crazy, we can then head over to that location. That's the plan as of right now. There, you know, and the Bigfoot stuff is not the only stuff up there. In 1969, there was a UFO incident that was seen by 2,000 people, I think, or something like that. Yeah, 2,000 people, I believe. And it's considered a very real, true event. This is not something that like is questionable. This is something that's documented as a real thing. Let me just make sure I have my information right. But it was 1969. It was what's going on here? Nope, that's not what I want. 1969. And then there's a haunting on October Mountain. It's this little girl, supposedly, Anna Pease, that's supposed to haunt this area in October Mountain. So there's a lot of stuff there, man. So Labor Day, 1969, on the night of September 1st in Berkshire County, Massachusetts. Oh, I lied. Okay, it was 250 people allegedly reported witnessing a UFO, according to UFO park enthusiasts. 40 residents, multiple towns. Unsolved Mysteries did a thing on it on Netflix. You can look it up. It's on there still. The Reed family claimed they home over the Sheffield Bridge in Massachusetts around 8:30. Tom Reed, who was 9 at the time, still remembers what he saw in vivid detail. His mother, Nancy Reed, was driving. His grandmother was a passenger seat. Next to him was his younger brother, Matthew. The pair had been sharing lollipops. There was a light coming through the bottom boards of the bridge. As we left the bridge and came out the other side, we saw what looked like a self-contained sphere of white light. As it rose up, maybe 2 stories, there were some rods of light. They fired several thin directional laser poles of light from one side to the other. The light then retracted into it, and the sphere slowly moved around the line of trees going the same direction we were. My brother then happened to notice a second round sphere off to the right of the car that looked like it was sitting underwater. At that point, almost everything felt odd to us. It was almost like being underwater as the car slowed. You know, the tapping sound you get from being in a pool. The sound was stones tapping. Sound was stones tapping under the fender of the car. Mr. Reed said everything then became still and quiet, and that's when the family claims they saw a turtle shell-shaped disc hovering over the fields to the left. The 3 objects, the 2 spheres of light and the shell, made a triangle with the Reed's car being in the middle of it. The car suddenly exploded with light, Mr. Reed said, almost like floodlights had been shown on it. He explained to 9 News, everything was illuminated in glaring detail. A bunch of noise erupted as crickets and frogs burst into frantic activity on the banks of the Housatonic River. That was the last thing Mr. Reed and his family remembered for 3 hours. Bar vague visions of what resembled an airplane hangar, describing it a large open area that was much larger than the craft was itself. When the family finally came to, Nancy Reed and her mother had mysteriously switched positions in the car. The car ignition was off and the lights were off. So this multiple towns, 250 people saw this thing. There's the multiple people on that episode of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix from the towns who saw it talk about it. The Reed family's been very vocal about what they saw. And claimed that there's been these things seen several times in Sheffield through the 60s, but it was a really big deal. It separated this community for a long time. There's a pretty faithful community up there, and it separated a lot of people when these people started saying, "Hey, we got abducted by aliens," or something weird happened. But yeah, this is like. It's definitely logged as a very true, very real event. And it was the first less than a year after the encounter. Mr. Reed sold the family diner, visited the Green, relocated to Great Barrington. Museum confirmed the Reed sighting and officially inducted it into U.S. history. Yeah, in 2015. The Historical Society and Museum confirmed their sighting and inducted it into the case into U.S. history. He passed a polygraph test. There's a concrete monument erected outside the bridge to commemorate it. So I mean, this, for all accounts, this is looked at as a very real thing. And there's been sightings of these things, like on the mountains too, not just there, but all over this area. I don't know what draws UFOs to mountainous areas, but it seems like they are. Lady Wolf, who are the guys you'll be going with? So tentatively, it would be Mike Ann from Tactical Bigfoot Research, Alex Petikoff from Small Town Monsters, Brian and Chewy from Brian and Chewy Go Hiking. It would be Mike Lucci from the CARC and This Week in Bigfoot. It would be our friend Evan from New Hampshire Sasquatch. It would be his buddy Ryan. I think that's everybody, and then me. Is that 7? I think that's everybody. There'll be 7 of us. We would love to get more people to go. I think the more the merrier in this situation, because we would be in different spots. We would have a camping area and a base, center where we'd have all the, we would set up, but we would be in different areas of investigation through the night. So hopefully we get it together. I mean, that whole thing of getting rained out in New Hampshire really upset a lot of people, me included. Obviously we went up and did our couple days, but we wanted everybody up there, man. It's such a great group, and it was a shame that we didn't all get to do it. But there's some plans. Me and Brian are probably going to try to go back up there. Hopefully before, winter really hits. It was such an intriguing area, and we know they're there. They're there. Just 2 weeks ago, there were 2 sightings. I mean, they're here. There's been sightings there forever. The deal. The story. Like, what happened. They're there. So we want to go. Hopefully we can get back there before the weather hits at least one more time. I'm trying to do bigger, better expeditions. That being said, I'm going to float a couple ideas out there. Our friends Ben and Fresh in the UK, right? They have some strange stuff that goes on over there. Some really strange stuff. Ben's got some real clear Bigfoot Sasquatch stuff going on. Fresh has some other very strange stuff, some of it including Sasquatch stuff, but other weird stuff. The prevailing thought is that these things aren't over there, and I think that's crazy thinking. I don't know why they couldn't be there. So I really, 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 really want to go over there. I want to go and I want to investigate for a week, and try to prove that there's stuff going on over there, something different. Obviously, I'll do what I can here. This is the big thing, right? This is a big one, and it's a reach. I understand that. I obviously can't just do it on my own. So I was thinking of possibly starting a GoFundMe to get this underway. It would, no, a vacation, I guess, in some ways, but we would be out investigating every day. That's what we would do. I'm trying to push this as hard as I can. Like, the bug is so strong in me right now. if I had the ability to do more, I would do it every day, literally every day. So this is where, like, I'm gonna try to throw this stuff out there and hope that things stick and people believe in it, and and we could potentially make some of this stuff happen. Maybe going to the UK is a huge reach for the first big expedition, but my thought is, well, why not? Why not? So yes, I would fly Spirit Airlines. Absolutely. I have other ideas, like many people do. Like, obviously, I'd love to get up into Canada. Alex has talked about British Columbia being a place. I would love to go up to Les Stroud's areas up there, Radium Springs, maybe Vancouver Island, all places that I personally I couldn't afford to do it on my own. So it's a thought. I'll put a poll up with some places and see what people think, and then go from there. But I want to do this. Like, I want to push this. I want to push it as hard as I possibly can and figure out as much as I can. That means, upgrading equipment. That means going to different places and seeing what the differences are. I'm logging data from October Mountain into Berkshires, trying to find out what correlations every sighting has, if any. What time of day? What was the weather like? What type? What time of year was it? How many people were there? What were they doing when they saw them? And seeing if there are any correlations, so that you can form a pattern. If you can form a pattern, then you can possibly predict maybe where these things might be when. And so I'm digging deep. I'm trying so hard to do this, and I need anyone's help that can help. I hate asking, because there's so many grifters in this field, but I'm not one of them. I promise you that I'm not one of them. I believe in this stuff fully, and I want to do my part to try to get as many answers as I can. So anyway, now that I've rambled on about that stuff, I certainly will bring extra socks and boots. I learned that the last time. I'll bring every pair of socks I have this time. Oh boy. So anyway, I apologize. I just had to get that stuff, out. So,
Oh, yeah. Nothing worse than soggy feet. I can't.
well, you're the wizard of the soggy bottom. So,
Right.
is a soggy bottom worse than soggy feet?
The bottom is not soggy. It's just the feet. Oh, man.
Oh
Well,
gosh.
for some reason, my comments are duplicating.
They are?
I don't know why.
I don't see doubles.
They're showing up on mine as double. I don't know.
Are you guys seeing doubles of Dewey's comments?
Maybe it's my eyes. Maybe
Oh, wait. No, they are.
Yeah,
Well, that's weird.
it is weird.
I don't think I've ever seen that phenomenon before.
Oh well, it may be the shirt behind me. Maybe
Maybe the what?
my shirt, the shirt back behind me, the Bell Witch shirt.
I thought that said Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. I think I'd rather fool with the Bell Witch than I had Bill Gates. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just I need to reboot. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? These computers suck. I hate it all.
Yeah.
We should be doing these shows on stone tablets.
There you go. There you go. That'll work. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Stone tablets.
Yeah, a stone tablet YouTube show. So sorry, I got off there. Got rambling about this stuff, but I'm just, I'm so good. The one of the best things and probably worst things that could have happened is going with those guys up to New Hampshire, because it ignited that bug in me again, to the point where, like, now I like I'm so frustrated to not have people to go out with at least every week. It's so frustrating because I can only do so much by myself. It's dangerous to go
Oh yeah,
alone,
yeah, yeah.
you
You don't want
know,
to do that.
into areas you don't know. Like you should have somebody with you. Um, it's if I had gone up to that place by myself, to the Berkshires, the terrain is very tricky. It's really rough. It was super slippery. I could have easily gotten hurt, and then what? And then I'm stuck. You know,
Oh yeah, you can fall and break a leg and
that's it. You
just
did,
find you years later.
yeah. So, um, it's I just wish I wish that there was people around here who I had to do this with more often. Brian is an hour away, which is not far. It's not a long hour; it's a short hour, if that makes any sense. I know it sounds crazy, but the drive is not hard. Um, and I'm hopefully we can start doing things together more often. We definitely are going to go back to the Bridgewater Triangle and do some stuff. But I think the plan now is to get back up to the Berkshires before the weather hits. Um, and I don't know if we'll go back to October, Greylock.
I think you froze up, Kyle.
Great, that was fun.
Hmm.
If you guys are familiar with the Squatchachusetts group, but Jonathan Wilk is the founder. If you've ever heard his story from Savoy, it's an incredible story. Look him up on YouTube. Look, see if you can find Jonathan Wilk uh, Sasquatch story. One other thing, real quick, and then Dewey, it's all yours. Um,
Hey.
uh, I was shown a show, um, and the other day, and let me see if I can even bring it up. Um, Brian showed me a show that I was not aware of, um, and I was pleasantly surprised. These folks were really seemed very. Whoa, that's loud. These folks are very nice. They're very humble. They travel to every conference across the country, and they go all over the place, like to sighting areas and investigate. Um, their show is called Squatch America. Anyone familiar with these folks?
Mm-mm.
Squatch America. If anyone could put the link up in the description, put the link up in the description if you could. Squatch America. The most recent show that I saw was called "Why Bigfoot Reports Are So Important." In this show, there was some people in the chat who were being jerks, and they kept trying to know-it-alls. Well, this is what you need to do. This is 40 years and 50 years, and we still can't get good pictures. And me. This the same idiots all the time.
Oh
They
yeah.
know better than you and whatever. Um, and the people who run the show, they're just so kind and nice, and they didn't get mad. Well, why don't we have good pictures? You need to do this, you need to do that. And the guy says, well, I do have a picture. And basically, like, the hush of silence falls over the crowd, and he pulls out the picture and shows this picture that he took 30 years. It took him 30 years to get one decent picture of these things. Okay, think about that. 30 years took him, and this dude's going out all the time to incredible places, and he got this picture, and the picture is pretty doggone good. It's not been shown to the public until then, and they said, why would we? Why would we show it? It doesn't matter what we do or what we say. People are still going to say, "Oh, it's blurry. It doesn't look good. It's fake. Yada yada." So why would we do it? The only reason they did is because this one guy in the chat continued to hound them, and they showed this picture. Take a look in the episode. Squatch America, why Bigfoot reports are so important. Go to the 40-minute mark. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this picture. He also shows another picture, and I forget what the timestamp is, that a friend of his took. They knew they were around. His friend flipped the camera backwards as they were walking away. And one of these things showed itself. They're very interesting pictures. So I'd love to hear what any of you guys think. And then there is the Jonathan Wilk interview. That is a great encounter story, and that's that we are. It's up in the air. We're trying to figure out where we're going to go first. But Savoy is right up the road from the Berkshires, so and that's where that happened. Okay. Ben says it's about 50 minutes till the second pick is shown. So 40 minutes and then 50 minutes. There are the timestamp. Yep. Squatch America. Why Bigfoot reports are so important. Anyway, I'm done. Sorry, let me shut up. All right, Dewey, what do you got, man?
I hadn't got much. I just want to hear about your October Mountain excavation, your little excursion you went on.
I don't want to give too much away because I'm gonna put the videos together and then put it out.
There you go. I watched some of it. It was kind of in and out as far as the it wasn't a good place for a signal, I guess, but I enjoyed what I did get to watch.
Middle in the we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
The closest town is like I don't know, like 8 miles away. And when I say town, that's not really it's very small. It's a very tiny little town. So it's not like there's these big cell towers popping up all over the place out there. I was very shocked that I had any service, to be completely honest with you. If I had my old phone, I wouldn't have had any. So that was a big deal to get some. That just tells me that I'll have it in some areas that I definitely didn't before. And then so anyway, yeah.
There you go. I was doing a little we talked about these strange creatures and all, last week. And I did a little research on the hoop snake.
Oh, that's right. You talked about that.
The hoop snake, they say it's a fictional animal, but my grandmother, of course, she passed away in 1956, but she had her foot was turned sideways. Her right foot was turned sideways. And I asked her, what happened to her foot? Because I said, I wasn't 4 years old, And she said that she was in the tobacco patch, and this hoop snake got after her. And she was running from it and either stepped on a rock or a dirt clod or maybe even a stalk of the tobacco and fell and twisted her foot. It actually broke it. And they never took her to the doctor, so it grew that way. But this hoop snake is supposed to be they say it don't exist, but from what I've heard, there's several. I think Steve Causey's got a couple of mentions of it in his book, the LBL Massacre, and he's talking about the hoop snake.
Can you hula hoop with it?
Supposedly, it can put its tail in its mouth and roll like a tire, an inner tube or whatever, a hula hoop, and it can roll after you. And it hadn't got fangs like a regular snake. It has a spike in its tail, and it can. I reckon as it rolls by you, I reckon it'll come uncalled or whatever, and the spike will stick in you, and it's supposed to be deadly. I've even heard that some people say that it would if you got behind a tree and it hit the spike hit the tree, that the tree would wither up and die just in a short while.
Whoa.
So, I don't know. I was asking River about it, if they had them in Australia, and he said they did.
I didn't see River. River, hello, buddy. I didn't see you. I'm sorry.
So I'd like to do a little more follow up on that, but I know she told me that that's what happened to her, and I have no reason to doubt her. I mean, why would she lie to a 4-year-old kid? I mean, but
Yeah, right. That's a very strange one. I just looked it up on YouTube.
They say it's fictitious, but they say a lot of things fictitious and it's not. They say UFOs are fictitious too, but
Exactly. Yeah.
we know
So
better.
what do you believe? I don't believe when they tell me anything anymore. They're full of it.
No, no, no.
They are liars. Um, yeah, interesting, man. That I would be scared to death if I saw a snake rolling down at me like a tire. Uh, and moving peculiar. Is the other first another moving peculiar? It throws itself into a circle, running rapidly round, advancing like a hoop with his tail. Wow, that's very weird. Naturalist who replaced tens of thousands of dollars in a trust in New York Bank, which was to be given to the first person that provided proof of hoop snakes. The money still remains unclaimed. Felicia wants to know if your grandmother was in Robertson County.
Yeah, she was born and raised here, and I reckon lived in Robertson County her whole entire life. So I don't think she ever probably didn't get out anywhere. Probably just hung around the house and housewife,
Re-
and she helped farm. So
Real quick, Salty is going back to the Bigfoot thing. He said he sees some people say red eyes, some report green or yellow. Just curious what the consensus is versus Google. What do you have you seen eye shine before? As it relates to possibly a Bigfoot, Dewey?
what I have seen and I thought may have been a Bigfoot, it was just they were just like two, I don't know, what weren't yellow. They weren't exactly just white either. So they had a little bit of a yellowish tinge to them. But of course, deer have the same same thing too. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
know.
tricky
I've heard
part.
they red. But
That's the tricky part is that, some people may be misinterpreting what they're seeing
yeah,
unless you can see a full silhouette along with the eyes, or you can see the um, full figure, hair and all. It's hard to say what it is, then then you have an idea. So there's a couple of people that I've talked to throughout this process. And the overwhelming majority of them um, have said either amber or red. That's what I've heard over and over, amber or red. I've not heard yellow or green much, if at all. I don't really remember
right.
yellow.
I've
Uh,
heard mostly red is what I have as far as my reports I put in my book. Most of them were red. Uh,
yeah,
some of them even said that they were glowing red without any kind of shining illumination on them. So I don't know.
that's the thing that gets me. People say often these things didn't need any light to shine on them; they were emitting their own light,
Right,
which is crazy. Uh, a lot of accounts too, um, like Evan's account. He was driving down. He lives in New Hampshire. So he's driving some of these old desolate roads in New Hampshire on his way back one night to his house, and he came around a corner, and his lights, as he turned the car, his lights lit this thing up, and as it did, this thing went like this and covered its eyes. Now, my first thought from the stories I've heard is it wasn't covering its eyes because the lights were bothering it. It was covering its eyes because it knew that those lights hitting its eyes were going to emit
right,
this reflection and give it away. Mark Copeland, when he was on the show, talked about this. It happened twice to him. One time, it was that little one who he caught running through the yard, and as he shined his light on it, it quickly ducked down and turned its head so that you couldn't see the reflection off the eyes. Then the other one, he caught the eye shine the first time really quickly as he was sweeping with the light. And when he went back to get it, the thing, he saw it close its eyes to avoid that light and giving itself away. I mean, these things are intelligent, man.
Oh
They
yeah.
are super, super intelligent when it comes to remaining hidden and avoiding detection.
That's like
Um,
Martin's account. He was talking about, evidently the eyes were glowing red at night because he said that they thought somebody was standing behind a tree smoking a cigarette. So
right,
they were getting a red glow from something, without shining a
exactly.
light on them. So
Yeah, interesting. Um, it lends itself to the way that these things can see in the dark. Because if they're nocturnal, then they have to be able to see in the dark. I would even
oh
put
yeah,
these Sasquatch one step up from just being able to see in the dark. I would imagine these things, the way that they operate, probably can see body heat. Maybe, I don't know. Um, the one of the other things that we've been talking about, well, actually, you know what, I'm not even going to share it. I'm going to wait because I don't want anyone to get any ideas. We want to be the pioneer of this idea. I'll tell you after the show. uh, have a very, very cool idea to do something that somebody and I have discussed that may give us at least a slight edge in remaining undetected by these things. I'm not, because again, I don't want anyone to get any ideas, but I think might give us at least a little bit of a one up.
huh.
Um, but yeah, the I don't know. Maybe they see in thermal. Maybe they just have some kind of night vision. I don't know. But they're whatever they are. They're far beyond us.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Felicia had a question. Said there was a Bigfoot in Franklin, Kentucky that hung out behind the Octagon House, and wonder if I'd looked into that. Uh, I did find a report on that, and I did. It is included in my book, um,
mhm.
Season of the Critters. But yeah, it was a definitely it was something by the Octagon House out near the cemetery, the way I understand it. So there's
Yeah,
several Bigfoot, and there was one in Franklin that they called the White Thing, and it was supposed to be like a smaller version of Bigfoot, but it was white instead of black or brown. And I've only found a couple of mentions of that, but thought that was kind of interesting.
yeah, that is very interesting. A smaller white one. The white ones come up every now and again. You wonder if it's just like anything else in nature. Like, uh, is it a albino or is it leucistic? Uh, meaning it's not lacking color. It's just because when they're albino, they don't have pigment, which makes
Right,
their eyes pink and all that. But
right.
leucistic is a genetic thing, where they like you've ever seen snakes that are leucistic. They are white, 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 white,
Oh
white.
yeah, yeah.
Like but they have colored eyes. They have pigment in their eyes. Same with leucistic deer. They're white fur, bright white fur, and then they have brown eyes. Um, be interesting if these things have genetic issues like that. That other animals and humans have, might tell us something about them, a little extra anyway.
Yeah, we had one encounter happened between Greenbrier and Ridgetop there in Robertson County. A guy went back to he was doing a little pre-scouting for his get ready to deer hunt, and he walked up on a full grown buck there on the ground, and it hadn't been shot or anything, but part its neck had been ripped out, and he was kind of looking at it, and he found a few tracks around it, and he kind of got scared and getting his truck to leave, and he heard they seen something off in the next to the fence row, and it was this big dark hairy creature, and it got to screaming at him, doing vocalizations, and he jumped in the truck and took off, and but he had just been in it, come down that road just well, maybe an hour before, and there was a big tree down across the road blocking him from leaving. And it was big enough that he couldn't move it. And he had a CB radio, and he called his friend on the radio, and he come out and brought a chainsaw out. And so one of them was cutting they took turns cutting a tree, and one of them would be standing guard, with the gun, with the rifle, while the other one was cutting it, and they finally got it cut out and drug out. But so this thing was doing all kind of vocalizations at him, so I thought that was kind of odd.
That is odd. That is odd. I just looked at that picture. Oh, your wife just looked at the picture on the video. Yeah, it's a very
Oh,
interesting,
okay.
very interesting pictures, man. And again, people who didn't bring it immediately out to the public, like look at what we got, look at what we got, look at what we got. They weren't strutting it around and trying to get all this attention. They kept it to themselves. The only reason they shared it is because this guy kept hounding him about stuff. What happened in the yeah, he got sick, is what happened, buddy. He got sick. He's got some health stuff going on. Not good either. I don't want to put it too much out there because it's not my business, but wishing him the best. We'll revisit it and see, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. It's too bad. He was a very good guy, is a very good guy, and had some pretty interesting stuff for sure. Trying to go through some of these comments here. They went by pretty quick.
This white thing they saw in Franklin, a guy saw it. He just looked at the back door and out the back window and saw something out back, and he thought it was one of the neighbors' dogs. And they got these Great Pyrenees. He thought it was one of the neighbors' dogs, and it was kind of hiding behind a bush, there by the backyard. And says a couple of his children went out to see if it was a dog, and this thing stood up, and the kids came running back in the house, screaming and carrying on, and it vanished. I mean, by the time he went back out there, it was gone by then. So that would kind of unnerve me too, I guess.
Yeah, well, hell yeah, it would. Definitely. Great Pyrenees. They're big dogs, though.
Oh yeah,
big old dog. They're big puppy dogs. They're some of the best dogs, man. I love those dogs. We had one in my neighborhood. He was sort of a celebrity. His name was Clancy. Even the local library celebrated him. He was such a great dog. Yeah, when I first moved into the neighborhood, it was funny. It was a hot summer day. I'd probably been there for about 2 months, 3 months. And we have some pretty tall arborvitaes that separate my yard from the neighbor's yard. And all of a sudden, I see this white thing like at the end of the arborvitae. I can only see a portion of it, and I'm like, "What in the hell is that?" And it's at the back of the yard, and I could tell it's pretty big. I'm like, what is that thing? And so I'm moving quietly, and then all of a sudden, here comes this big, giant Great Pyrenees walking towards me. Now, I'm an animal guy, normally with dogs. Like, I don't get scared. And, but it's a big dog. I mean, he was a big, giant boy, and I was a little apprehensive, but he came walking right up, man, and just like let you pet him. And it was so hot out, so I ended up getting him some water and a little bit of food and bringing him up onto the porch and letting him, cool off there while I called his owner. And yeah, he just ended up hanging out, man. He was such a sweet dog, but he was known by the whole neighborhood because he hangs out in his yard all day, and people walk by and he'll come up just to the edge of the wall and let you pet him. And they're great dogs. Very smart. Seen a swap from very bright bioluminescent amber orange to red. Huh. Hey Sharon, how are you, honey? I can only go from my experience, and I cannot 100% say that it was Bigfoot Sasquatch though, but about 7 feet. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. Solid amber light, and there's separate red and yellow lights that combined look amber. That's the distinction I'm trying to make. Yeah, I think it's different, man. I think it's different for everybody. I think they probably have different colored eyes or reflections, or um, I don't know if they light up. Maybe they have different colors. That to me is a, I don't know. That's a hard one for me to accept, that their eyes light up.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a hard one for me. And I'm
yeah.
not like I'm a pretty open-minded guy, but that's difficult.
I don't know of any normal mammals or whatever that their eyes like bucket,
I mean,
light up.
there's fish that have bioluminescence in them, and they live in the depths
Oh
of the
yeah,
ocean where it's dark all the time, right? But mammals, I don't think there's a single mammal that has any
not that
bioluminescence.
I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But
Um,
maybe people's headlights, the lights we're using now. Of course, we used to use the old just the regular old headlamps, and but I don't know if the halogen lights or maybe LEDs may make them give off a different color. I don't know. The old
maybe.
incandescent lights we used to have, back in the 70s or whatever, before the LEDs and halogen come out. Um, I don't know. It seemed like the deer used to have a more of an amber look to them, but nowadays there's a lot. It's not quite as darker amber as it used to be. So it may have something to do with the light source.
It could. You're absolutely right. Um, that's a very good point. Depending on how the light is illuminated outward would make the reflection different. Yeah, certainly possible. Um, Ben, what the Tonga footage? What's the Tonga footage? Does anyone know what that is? Do you know what that is, Dewey?
Mm-mm.
The Tonga footage?
I'll have to look it up.
Um, yeah, I'll have to check that out too.
Making me a note here.
Yep, that's true, Salty. They're animals whose eyes are developed to gather even the smallest amount of light from various directions at the same time. Most nocturnal animals, that's what their eyes are designed to do. Um, so yeah, that's what helps them be able to see. Um, the film, the Tonga film. I don't
Hmm.
know what this is, man. I'm not familiar with that at all. Um,
And not me either. I don't know.
yeah, I'm
But
I'm
check it
very
out though.
very curious now what this is. The Tonga film. Um, duh, 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 duh. Let me look it up.
I'm doing a little experimentation on some infrared LEDs. I've got ordered some from Amazon. I've got some
Oh,
heat.
see Tonga. Oh, I'm like, what is he talking about? Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you, Dewey. That
Oh,
just
go ahead. No.
no, I'm good. I'm ready. You finish and I'll go back to this. Go ahead.
Oh, anyway, I've got some 850s and I've got some 940s. Of course, the higher wavelength you get, the less it's illumination it does. And I don't know if Bigfoot can actually see, in that uh, infrared range or not. But I'm gonna try to come up with a strobe and see if I can't strobe maybe some alternating back and forth between the 850s and the 940s, and just see if it'll kind of like what Joe was using, that little beacon he's using. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to come up with something on a larger scale and see if I can't, put something out and see if it'll attract something maybe. So it's just a little
Okay.
project I'm working on. I'm also building another super high intensity EMF pump too. So we'll see
Jeez,
what
you guys in these EMF pumps, you need to be careful with those things,
I'm.
man.
I'm afraid I'm gonna open my portal one of these days.
I think what you should be more afraid of is just the EMF sickness that can come along with
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that
You know,
stuff is nasty.
speaking of that, place I worked there for 4 or 5 years. Uh, One part of the building always, and when I go back there, I always got depressed, had this feeling of anxiety. I
There you
mean, it just,
go.
I couldn't figure it out, and but it was real close to what we call the engine room, which had a lot of electrical equipment in it. It has several big motors back there, pumps, hydraulic pumps, and water pumps, and things like that. But you couldn't stay in the room very long at all. Maybe 20 minutes at the most, and you have to come out. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was overwhelming. And I thought that I talked to somebody one time and said, the feeling I got was the depression and everything. And I asked them, did something happen back here on this back dock at one time? Did something happen? Did somebody die back here or what? And one honest not that we know of. Then I found out later on that the one they hired a girl up front. She was an accountant, and she told me she wouldn't walk by the door going into that engine room because of the feeling she got from it. And then come to
Yeah.
find out, there was a guy that did get killed on the back dock. A truck backed into him, and it killed him on the back dock. And that was, I kind of thought that may have been what it was. I was sensing that, but I think it was more or less the EMF that I was exposed to. I finally moved my toolbox to another part of the building, and it didn't bother me anymore after that. But
See,
unless I had to go back in there and do some work on a pump or something, But it
Yeah.
was a different experience altogether.
It's a real thing, man. It's a scientific thing. I mean, the like even in paranormal investigations, these guys will go through the house with the EMF detectors, and not just to check and see if there's like fluctuations, but to see if there's areas in the house where there's high EMF, because
Oh yeah.
high EMF can cause you to be nervous, can cause you to feel like someone's watching you, can cause you to
Mm-hmm.
hallucinate slightly, depressed, nauseous, like all these things, which is why I believe that none of this stuff is related to infrasound. I, listen, house cats use infrasound. They produce infrasound when they purr.
I figured they did, but if a tiger can do it, I don't see why a cat couldn't do it.
Yeah, all cats produce infrasound. And you know why they produce that infrasound? It helps them to feel good. It helps them to heal both like sickness and physical injuries. So the infrasound thing is so misunderstood. Yes, there are instances in the wild where large cats produce an infrasound that is enough to make a prey animal confused. It doesn't make them like it's not like a trank dart. It doesn't make them go and just freeze, but it'll make them confused enough where these things can get closer to them and hunt them easier.
Oh
But for
yeah.
the most part, the infrasound that cats produce is a calming, soothing thing, both emotionally and physically, but it also helps them to heal. I don't think anything that we're experiencing in this field when it comes to this weird stuff, getting sick, feeling confused, losing time, it has nothing to do with infrasound. It is all related to EMF. That's my thoughts on this. Infrasound is something totally different. Not to mention the fact that infrasound is so difficult to create. It's a very hard thing to create, to get down to that decibel level. It's hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's only certain things that can do it. EMF can be produced by anything. We produce EMF. Humans produce it. We give off an electromagnetic field. Every
Oh yeah.
living thing does.
Yes.
So to me, that's what we're messing with. I saw somebody was talking about the electromagnetic light spectrum. You want to talk about like interesting stuff. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with David Icke, Icke, Icke. You ever heard of this guy?
Mm-mm.
He's like this guy's a genius, man. He's a genius. He investigates all this stuff, everything, paranormal. Whether we're living in a fabricated reality, like just all like Christianity and religion, all kinds of crazy stuff. And what they have figured out and what they know is that the electromagnetic light spectrum, which is the largest light spectrum, which is everything around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We only see not 0.005% of that light spectrum,
Right.
which essentially means that we're blind to 99% of everything that surrounds us every day. We don't see it,
Right.
which is just a scary thought in and of itself, right? The
Oh
whole
yeah.
th- the whole thing with that is when these other things that operate in these other light spectrums, which are there, they're there. Um, they obviously can operate in different spectrums of light, and in doing so, when they go from this light spectrum that we can't see into our light spectrum, it looks as if they're coming out of nowhere. Poof, they just appear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Magic, right? When realistically, that's not what's happening. They're just going from a light spectrum that we can't see into the one we can see. They've been there just in a different light. And
Right.
so people go, oh my God, it appeared out of nowhere. It must have come through a portal. Well, not necessarily. A more scientific explanation is that it was just however it does it. And again, stuff we don't understand quite really well. How it manipulates that light spectrum is probably mostly unknown. If we knew that, then we'd probably have many more answers to this stuff. But there's stuff out there that does, man. There
Oh
is.
yeah. I've always said that maybe about ghosts.
Yeah.
They're there, but they let you see them when they can either alter their
Yes.
frequency or whatever to a lower frequency to where we can see them. And
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And to go even a little deeper with that whole thing, he like most of the if you really look at like most of the the best like the highest scholars on this planet, the biggest geniuses on this planet, um, most of them now believe that what we are living in is some kind of holographic reality,
yeah.
basically. That this is not what it seems. That's why there's glitches in it at times, right? People talk about it and it's this big joke, like, oh, it's a glitch in the matrix. But yeah, there are. It happens. Um, I also don't believe that aliens need UFOs to get to us. Why would they need a UFO to travel to us if there's such an advanced civilization? Why would they need that?
Yeah.
Why would they need a
You're right.
spaceship? They would just be able to just go, all right, we're going to just teleport. We're going to go, we're going to manipulate whatever energy there is, or however they do it, and we're just going to go there. If you watch that Conjuring experiment thing, the gentleman Justin Spurrier was having that crazy experience outside in the yard where he started having these visions of these grays around his tent, and then these lights started falling from the sky. And in that moment, he thought to himself, "These things don't need UFOs to get to us; they can just get here." The thing about aliens or ETs is that they're supposed to be the most advanced type of race that there is. So if they are that advanced of a race, there's no need for any ship to move from
Oh yeah.
place to
Right.
place. There
Right.
just isn't. It just isn't. Um, oh, hey, what's up, Jeremiah? Welcome, man. Awesome. Very cool. Um, Yes, Brian and Chewy are here. So those were my hiking buddies yesterday. Well, I should say I was their hiking weight, their hiking anchor. I pulled up the rear all day long. Um, they're pros, man. Those guys. Well, obviously Chewy's a dog, so he just goes. but Brian he's a hiking pro. He got up that damn mountain thing that we went up, all those rocks. He was just at the top, and all of a sudden I'm looking around and going, where the hell are they? I don't see them anywhere. And now, of course, I'm freaking out because I'm in the middle of October Mountain, surrounded by nothing but just piles of deadfall all around me, where if I needed to run, you couldn't move. You could not move. It was so thick. And they're not around, and I'm like, where's my buddy? This is the buddy system. Where's my buddy? I did okay. Again, I was in much better shape this time last year. I was going out a lot more, but with the things that have happened, I have not gone out as much. But so are we going back, Bri? We're going to go back before the weather hits again. The people want to know.
Inquiring minds have to know.
Salty.
All right.
Oh gosh, maybe we'll have to get a place renamed on the Appalachian Trail. That's great. So yeah, there's just a lot, man. There's a lot to this stuff. The more that I dive into it, the more confusing it gets, to be completely honest with you. There's like, I was reading some of what this gentleman was talking about with, and this is probably very divisive, but like, again, I'm just regurgitating some stuff that I read. He was talking about how all these religions on the planet, like, all have very similar things, and those things are these like rulers of stuff. Christians have the devil and Satan. Islam is very different from Christianity, but there are big areas of agreement. One of those areas of agreement is the jinn. You ever heard of the jinn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Islam and the Christians agree on the jinn, and they have very separate, different beliefs and things. Archons are the rulers of the world. Archons are the rulers of the world of the unseen from 400 AD or even sooner. I forget who. So we have Satan and the devil for the Christians. Then there's I think it's Satish. So it's similar to Satan. I forget if that was the Israelis or somewhere like that. Anyway, there's a lot of connections between these things. He speaks about like looking into the very like most rich and famous, powerful 1% on the planet, and how so many of these people are into Satanism and pedophilia. They're both connected.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pedophilia is satanic and demonic, right?
Oh yeah.
And any of those like entities, those demonic things that are into that stuff, are very, very low vibrational. Anyone who wants to cause war or harm operates on these very low vibrational levels. There's just a lot, man. You could dive into these rabbit holes and just go deeper and deeper and deeper, but yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Interesting stuff.
Oh yeah. Just
Iran. That's right. Fresh,
yeah.
right. Iran. It's Iran. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead, Dewey.
I was reading an article the other day, and he was talking about infrasound. That a lot of these movie theaters will pump in infrasound, especially during a horror movie or something like that, to make the audience, more apprehensive, or or I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but they'll pump it in, to make it more, to get the anxiety level higher, in the audience.
They'll do that where?
It's kind of neat. I forgot where I read that at now, but it was a pretty neat little article.
Wait, where would they do that?
in the movie theaters, where like they're showing, like a movie
Oh,
like
okay.
Scream or something like that, or
That makes
Chucky or
sense.
something like that. If they would pump in infrasound at different times to kind of make I guess the audience get into it a little more, I guess,
That's very interesting. That, I mean, makes sense, right? You'd want their experience to be as creepy as it possibly could be
Oh
if they're
yeah.
going to see a scary movie, right? Uh, let's see now. I'm curious.
Oh, I did. I did put a little link at the start of the show. Um, for my YouTube channel. I'm putting a few little things on there every day or two. Most of them are historical. Uh, I got a few things on it that's paranormal, some of my ghost experiences and things like that. So if y'all don't mind, go check those out and maybe subscribe and like it. Maybe it's a small channel. I've only got like maybe 50 subscribers. So
Oh
it's a
yeah,
small
please
to
go
get.
subscribe. I didn't know you were even doing anything on the channel.
Oh yeah, I've had it maybe 6 months or something like it, not very long, but I'm putting a few little things out there on it. I
Oh,
haven't got out.
definitely.
I got a bunch more I want to put on it. I just hadn't had a chance to go on site and get a few more things. I want to visit a few cemeteries and things like that, and um, just put just the ghost stories and things like that on there. So
Sure.
I'm a historian too, so I'm big into history. So some weird history facts, I'm putting those on there too. Like the night the stars fell. Great earthquake and things like that. So it's just something to kind of keep me
Yeah.
busy, keep my mind going.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing that I wanted to mention earlier in the show when I talked about the traveling to do more of this stuff. Like I want to go down. I want to get down to where you are, and be able to go do something with you at some point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to be able to go meet up with Joe and Jesse and do something with
Yeah.
them. These are all things that I want to do, and I'm I'm hoping that there's enough people out there who watch the channel that they want to see these things done because it makes the channel better, right? It's a much
Oh
much
yeah.
more entertaining and exciting channel when you get to do those things. So just think about that, guys. Brian says he wants to get out there before sunrise. I'm in, dude. If you like, I wake up early anyway. So if you tell me you want to pick me up or you want to leave here at 3:30 in the morning, I'm in, bro. I am in. I think, and we're allowed. That place you're allowed to drive through there. That October Mountain on those roads, day or night. We could drive those roads all night long. Just hang out in the truck and drive. And most sightings of these things uh, are road crossing or side of the road. That's the most of the sightings on Sasquatch are. So what better place than to hop in the truck or the car and drive through the center of October Mountain in the middle of the night? Grab one of those giant spotlights and just scan. It would be amazing. Can you guys? Can somebody link it? Hold on. If you guys can't, I'll link it in the chat. I'll do it. It's Hold on. No. Where am I? Here.
It might not have been.
Where am I? I don't understand what's
I
going
did
on
take
here.
that off the wrong one.
Lives. Oh, you put it up. Okay. Geez, I'm trying to get up there. Why is this not? What is going on right now? home. Why is it not letting me? I don't get it.
I think I posted the wrong link.
Did you really?
I think I posted that. I think that's the post for this one, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it real quick. Hang on just 1 second. Won't take but a second. There we go. Yeah, that's the wrong one, I think.
Hey, Miss K. How are you? I was literally just thinking about you earlier. It's been a crazy couple weeks. Brian, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Before it gets snow on the ground, bro. Let's do it. We'll just bring some snacks. We'll hang out in the truck. We'll
okay.
Cruise the roads. I mean, we could even get out. I don't. Whatever. At this point, I'm in, man. Let's do it. It's not a terrible ride. It was actually a really nice ride. Once you got like up, into like once you got past Springfield, it wasn't bad at all. On the way up there too, Springfield is home to the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's also home to the Dr. Seuss Museum, which me and Brian thought would be a very neat place to go to. But it's not a bad ride, man. That part of Massachusetts is really pretty. Like once you get past Springfield's a shithole. It's a dump. It's riddled with crime and mob activity and whatnot. But yeah, let's do it, man. If you're in, I'm in, man. I'm down. I am totally down to go.
Yeah, I like to get early start myself. I don't like to wait till 9 or 10 o'clock to get anything done. If I'm up at 3 o'clock, I'm ready to go.
Listen, the thing is, it's like, let's plan an early week after Thanksgiving. Let's do it, dude. We'll have to wait, obviously, to see what the weather is like. Thanksgiving, we're supposed to potentially get a terrible rainstorm now. It was supposed to be snow. Now they're saying rain Tuesday into Wednesday before Thanksgiving here, which means you'll probably get it too, Bri, because you're an hour away. But we'll have to see the weather. I mean, if it's going to be clear, the Monday or Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we should just go up, not wait. That way it's not, that way it's we don't press our luck and get hit with snow or something. But yeah, I'm in, dude. If we leave here at like what, we could leave here at 3:30. We get up there at 5. Well, if you left your house at 3:30, we'd get up there at 6:30. That's pressing it because sunup is at 6:27. It's up to you. I'll be up. I'll make sure. I don't sleep much anyway, so I'm down. Whatever you want to do. I think sunup is the best time, like prior to sunrise. How many of these hunters do you see? They're up before sunup. They get in there, for the first 2 hours before the sun rises, and they have these encounters then.
Oh, yeah.
It happens so often. So often, man. Yeah, I think it's a great plan. That's a great plan. And then we can stay for a while. You know what I mean? We still got time to stay for a little while afterwards. Yeah, that's a great idea. Take a nap, and take caffeine pills. You guys and
at
your
the same
caffeine pills.
at the same time.
Yes, you're taking a nap and your caffeine pills at the same time. Yeah, uh, it's crazy, man. It's when you start getting out into these places, uh, and you look around, you go, this there's so many places for these things to hide. When people go, how come you don't have activity all the time? How come you don't have pictures? How come well, that's why, man, because there's so much area for these things to hide in, and they're just uh, they're just so good at it. They're perfectly adapted to living in these environments, man. Anything that lives in an environment for a long time is perfectly adapted to live in that
Oh
environment.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's the way that evolution works.
yep,
So Mother Nature's not going to take something that lives in a dark environment with drab gray colors and browns and auburns and make it neon, so that all the predators can see it. The only exception to that is when those neon things are poisonous, right? So, like, you have these neon colored little frogs and stuff, the poison dart frogs in the Amazon, where animals know, okay, don't touch that thing. It looks
yeah.
weird for a reason. It's got something's wrong with that thing, so don't eat it. Um, and that's why. But most instances, that's not the case. Everything there is meant to blend in. We can stop and park for a bit, different locations. Yeah, of course. I agree, 100%. I agree. You bring your thermal. Bring your thermal. Maybe I'll get one by then. Well, that's pretty soon. That's pretty soon. But see, this is why, guys. This is why I say, man, the videos would be so much cooler going out and being able to film in thermal and put those videos together for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so much cooler. Some of the best evidence of these things has been caught over the last 10 years has been thermal. It's hard to fake thermal. You can't fake a heat signature very well. Not
Right.
when it
Exactly.
now, you know what I'm saying? Not when it's in the shape of a giant humanoid. That's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do. Where somebody could put on a costume and go out in the woods during the day and you could still get, fooled if it's far enough away.
I need to get me a thermal. I got a night vision binoculars come in this last week.
Oh
I'm kind
yeah?
of I'm kind of curious to try those out.
What do you
And
got?
it's I don't know what brand it is now. I have to go look at it to see. But it's got a 3-inch screen with it, and they look like binoculars, but you just I can't use a binocular because I got to hold it up against my glasses and it smudges them. But this you just hold it up close, and it's pretty good size, and you just see through the viewfinder.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I was looking at something like that on Amazon.
let me grab them. Hang on just a minute.
Yeah, go for it. Grab it. We love looking at the tech. Julie Bug. Who's Julie Bug? Thermal is the way. Thermal's absolutely the way. These things can't hide on thermal. So if
That's
anyone feels it in their heart to donate to the channel, uh, thermal would be the very first thing that I
that'll be
buy,
my
or a
next
drone.
step.
The drone would be very instrumental too. Like when we were out there yesterday, that if we had a drone with us, we could have flown it up and over to see some of these areas. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Look at that.
It was on Amazon. I think it was like $179, I think, to start with. And then when I got put in my cart, they gave me a $60 off coupon. So I've only got
Whoa.
like $119 in them, but they work great. I went out there the other morning when the girls were waiting on the school bus, and we were watching deer with them, and the deer were in full color. I mean, they look great. Even the trees uh, were showing their natural green colors. I mean, it's pretty nice.
That's
It's got
awesome.
near and far. It's got a focus dial. Then it's got the infrared LED either near or far on it too. So I can't wait to get out in the woods and try them out.
I'll tell you what. Alex had a camera.
There's the brand name. If I can get it when you see it, Wolf Sports or something like that.
Okay, yep. All right, I'll have to look him up. I'm sure I've seen him at some point. I've been looking at that stuff for so long.
Case. It comes with a SD card, nice little carrying case.
Yep, I look at that stuff all the time and just drool.
Oh yeah, I just want to get me a thermal now.
Yep, that's the thermal and the drone are the two things that I want the most, because I think they would be the most instrumental to the channel as far as like, what you could use them for. Having a thermal in a place like that we went yesterday, where it's so thick in some places, just to be able to fly up and over, like you could fly up and over and see what the terrain ahead looks like. Could we make it in there if we tried? Because some of these areas you're looking at as you're walking through and you're like, it's a little sketchy. If we go any further, it could get worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you just stop and you're like, well, let's not go in there. But if you have a drone, you fly up and over, you could see a little better and go, okay, well, it's reasonable. We can keep going. Or you can possibly spot something that's, even crazy to go, okay, let's definitely keep going. But the thermal is the joint. Like that's those two things give you a leg up.
Oh, it froze again.
They're the Mini 3 SE or whatever. That little thing flying above would be so quiet, barely anything would be able to hear it. And it would be able to zoom in and see what's going on down there. Do I have an address for us to be able to mail you gear if you feel so inclined? I do. See, I open my mouth and then I end up feeling bad. I'm like, no, don't do it. No, I don't want you to do that. I don't know what. I just feel bad at the same time. I'm here asking for help to make the channel better, and then I'm like, no, please don't. Yeah, I do. Maybe a wish list might be better that way, at least, though I'm not giving out an address to everybody. Not that I don't trust you guys, the people in the chat I do, but there's other people that come watch the show after the chat that I don't know. I don't know who they are. I mean, there's 15 to 30 people in the chat generally during the lives, but my shows are doing like usually around 200 to 300 views afterwards. So that's a lot of people you don't know. That's the only issue there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My daughter Shannon she got me a drone. I think it was Father's Day a couple of years ago. And I took it out and looked at it, but I've never flown it yet. I want to get out there and get up here in the field above the house and just kind of play with it some and see, how it does. But it's of course you're supposed to have a license to do them now, but
well, it depends. Depends on what size you have.
This is They say size matters, but
they do. Is it a big?
No, it's small. It's small.
Yeah, if it's not too big, then you don't need a license. Like that's why the Mini, the DJI Minis, whether it's the Mini 2 or the Mini 3, they're small enough where you don't need that license.
Okay.
249 grams those things weigh.
Yeah, I was going to use it more or less to when I was doing a lot of cemetery research and everything. Well, I still am doing some. Park on the road and fly it out, over. And then most time if you see a clump of trees in the middle of a field, and most time it's either a well or it's an old cemetery or something in it. And I was going to kind of use that to kind of go in and do a little pre-scouting, to see if I could see any headstones or whatever, and then take it from there. Save me a lot of walking, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Brian said he wouldn't see much on Therm. That lookout would be cool. What do you mean in that forest? I'll tell you, there were parts of that forest where the deadfall was so. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was as if the whole forest was down. It was just, it was tree after tree after, it was everywhere. If you needed to get out of there, you were in deep trouble. You weren't getting out of there. Something came up behind you or you on that path. The only way you'd have to go is back down that path, and you ain't moving down that path fast because it's down rocks, and man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, no, I know, Felicia. It's one of those things. It's like you think about it and you say it out loud, and then you think about it again, and you're like, no, you feel bad. You don't want people doing that. Then you don't. Then you feel like you're. I don't know. There's just so many grifters in this subject who don't care about it, and they come in and they spew these lies and they make up these stories just to get people interested, and they tell you things like they worked on a very clandestine dog man bounty hunting unit in Nam, and they hunted dog man, and and then they ask you for donations, and they ask you for this, and they ask you for that, and people buy into it, and they send these people all kinds of money, and these people don't do a dick thing for it. They don't ever go out into the field. They don't care about the subject, and then they get pinched for stolen valor like they should. Oh, there you go. Look at that. There you go. That's not too big. I don't think. What's the weight?
That's what I was trying to find. Let's see if I can.
You're right, Salty. You're gosh darn right, pal. This is our channel, your channel.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, I'm curious. What's the weight?
I look at the book and see it. I'm just kind of curious myself. There'll be in the spec somewhere, I would think.
There's got to be. It's got to tell you, because that's actually really important. You're right, Bry. Yep, driving slow, and then if he saw anything, we could spotlight him. Yep, 100%. 100%. My PayPal details, they are not. No, they're not. I can share them. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I don't see anything that shows a weight on it.
Yeah, Brian, go for it, buddy. I can't wait to see what it looks like, dude. So let me know when you got it up, brother. It doesn't say the weight, huh?
Not that I found so far.
Hold on, I'll look it up in 2 seconds. Let me just do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure don't see a thing about any weight at all.
You don't.
I'll look it up and see. Sure don't see a thing about any weight at all.
There you are. There is my PayPal, should be in the chat now. Let me link just the Cash App too, because I know some people say do the Cash App. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's wondering, I was having all the trouble with the Cash App thing. Um, and because I kept having the Cash App pop up on my new phone, just kept popping up over and over and over. Every like minute, 2 minutes, this Cash App thing would pop up and say, "Sign up for the Cash App card. Sign up for the Cash App card." Every time I'd open something up on the phone, it would pop up and shut me out of the other thing. And I was getting so angry because I couldn't do anything. It was literally because my Cash App card was in my phone case. I have a phone case that holds your credit cards, and you can't even see that they're there. But it's so much easier than a wallet. So I guess if it's that close to your phone, it will trigger that, which I never knew. So the whole time, that's what was doing it.
Oh, I
Go
didn't know that
figure.
either. Mine keeps
Go
coming up, telling me to
figure.
verify my name.
What's that?
My Cash App keeps coming up and telling me I need to verify my name,
Is it really?
but I'm not fooling with it. I don't know. It's working, so I'm not going to.
And there's the Cash
Maybe
App.
it's somebody fishing for some information too. You know it.
You never know. That's the problem. You never know. So there's the Cash App. There's the PayPal is up a little higher than that. I don't even know how to do a wish list on Amazon. So the wish list is small. It's small. It's literally thermal drone. That's about it. Maybe maybe one of those power banks just for the camping trips and stuff. But that's about it, man. Again, I'm a simple guy. I don't need all the extras. Just the stuff that is really does the trick. That's really going to make this a better place to go, to a better channel to I'm trying to look right now to see your lists, registries. From my lists. How do I even get rid of that? I don't know why that's even on there. Well, anyway, I'll figure it out. Oh, it was happening to you too, Salty? I set my phone down and it prompted me to pay or request payment. No way. Dude, why is that? You would think that somebody who has a Cash App card, it wouldn't do that to the person who has the card. You would think they'd find out a way to constantly pop up to people who don't have Cash App, right? I've got a Cash App already. Why'd you program my Cash App card, to send me a pop-up to sign up for Cash App? How stupid is that?
Yeah.
Now you're just annoying me. Now I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't want anything to do with your stupid Cash App. I just want to PayPal. Oh, Benny boy. Ben, you didn't have to do that, man. I love you, Bal. I love you, buddy. Well, anyway, we've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes. My thing's about to die. You got anything else you want to share before we get out of here? Let me look that up first. What's the brand? What is the brand on that thing?
Oh, it is a Dragon Touch.
Dragon Touch?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how much.
Made in China, of course.
And what's the model?
Model is DF01, Dog Frank 01.
01.
For ages 14 and above. I might be able to fly it.
Weight. Foldable design allows the easy store and more portable for outdoor traveling. Weight under 250 grams, so you don't have to register it. See?
Well, good.
You're good to go.
There we go.
You can do 360-degree flips with that thing. Not that I would try it, but
I could when I was younger. I can't now.
that's great. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's get out of here. For my internet crashes or my computer blows up or something else curses me. Um, it's been a fun night, guys.
It has been
It's been a
fun.
good night. I'll be putting my video together in the next couple days. It'll probably take me 7 days to upload it. And then you'll get to watch that. Brian's will be ready by tomorrow, so you'll get the gist of it. He does a much better job editing his videos anyway. So I guess as of right now, I unless I go out this weekend, which I might, I'm not sure. I will be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday. We'll see what the hell happens. I don't know. All this,
Yeah,
I say it and then something changes. So,
course.
but suffice to say that you'll have a show or two this coming week anyway. I still got people who I'm supposed to be interviewing who trying to narrow that all down. That's the biggest pain in the butt is getting those days and times narrowed down. But yeah, anyway, we'll be good to go. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all so much for your support, your continued support. It really means so much to me. It really does. Like I talk about it when I'm out with these guys, and just I tell them, I'm like, the folks that I have here who watch this show and tune in and show support are just the greatest folks. Like you ask any of these dudes that I go out with, and they'll tell you. I would argue and fight to the death for my people here. They're the best. So, yep, I'm good. You good, Dew?
I'm
Anything
good.
else?
I'm good.
Anything else you want to share?
If we don't happen to be on next week or whatever, I want to take this time to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And
Oh yeah, I forget.
give thanks for what you've got. And maybe we'll catch you maybe Tuesday, maybe, we'll see what happens.
We'll get in before Thanksgiving. We'll get a show in before Thanksgiving. Yeah, we
Okay,
will.
well, good deal.
For sure.
Good deal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in. Please stay safe. And do something nice for yourself. All right. I
Do
love
something
you.
nice for everybody.
Do something nice for everybody. That's right.
Exactly.
Have a wonderful night, guys. See ya.